Hey, welcome to the Coach Tyler Vann Show. This is Randall Cunningham, back from 1 week. Still ain't got the best voice. Kind of a little ate up after doing 5 hours last Friday night, where I called a losing game, but we didn't have one in Sylvania as the Rams take care of business 35-6. Coach, uh, what did it feel, first of all? I know it's always, we joked about it earlier, but getting that first playoff win at Sylvania, going through that first round. Um, I know it's not the ultimate goal, but it is. It is a goal in any path is to become a playoff team and then to get that first win.
Yeah, it's important. We did our job in the regular season, was able to host a playoff game, and then able to win the playoff game and move on to the second round. We got to take it one game at a time, and I think our guys are doing a really good job of that. And, practice has been good so far this week. Maybe we'll finish out the week the correct way tomorrow as well on Thursday, and then have an opportunity for another big win here this Friday night, and have an opportunity to move on.
Yep, big challenge ahead of you Friday night, and we'll get to that in a little while and talk about Madison Academy. But Howie, you were there. You called the game. You've got to become the voice of the Rams a little bit this year. I'm jealous that you've gotten to call so many games. Well, let's just open up the floor with you and let you ask Coach Vann some questions.
Yeah, Coach. Congratulations on the big win Friday night. The score indicated it's kind of easy, but I know it wasn't. But when you came out and started running the ball, was you expecting that much success?
I thought we had the opportunity for success in the run game. I actually thought, we was going to have to throw it a little bit more and keep them off balance more. But I thought our run game, our O line did a really good job throughout the game, and was able to dominate the line of scrimmage. They were not bad up front either. They're a good football team, and I think it helped that we played five the week before. I think it showed on Friday night, and I think it'll continue to show. It helped us playing the team as good as five up front. I think it made us better, and I hope we continue to get better every week moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. The offensive line was making some humongous holes for 22 and 2 to run through, and they had great nights. I think one of them had over 200, the other had over 100-yard rushing. And man, for a high school team, that's awesome to have two players that's over. Just having one over 100 is fantastic, but having two with one of them 200, one 100. Speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's big time. Again, our O line did a really good job creating some creases for 22. 22's been running the ball extremely well the past few weeks. I think he's starting to get fully healthy. He's still not all the way healthy. He won't be because it's football; it's part of it. But he's running the ball really hard. He's seeing the field well, and then two's just been doing what he's been doing since he's had the opportunity to run the football. And he's dealing with some groin and some hip flexor stuff, and you can't tell it. At times you can, but most of the time you can't tell he's dealing with anything. He's a patient runner. He likes to see the hole. He ran outside this kick block the other night late in the game. I put 22 in. 22 broke the next one. I turned, looked at him, and told him that should have been you, but you decided you was going to run outside the kick block the play before. But no, they don't care who scores. That's what I love about them too. I've told you that before. They're both very unselfish. They do a good job. They support each other. They cheer for each other, and we're all looking for one goal, us to win a game. And we know that every time we score, it's moving us a step closer to winning that football game. So really proud again of our O line, though. They do a really good job, and our tight ends that we play with two tight ends a lot, and that's Brant Kittle and Leo Kirby. Don't talk about them enough. They do a good job for us, and they're a big part of creating them run lanes for 2 and 22.
Yeah, a quick question about you running backs there. They are probably some of the best running backs that I've saw in high school to go against the grain, I guess you'd say, or cut back rather. And to me, it appears that the holes may be on the right side or the play's supposed to go to the right side, but they're willing to cut back to the left and find that open crease and hit it pretty hard. Is that something that y'all work on in practice, or is that just their natural instinct?
That's just their instinctive abilities. I think they're very instinctive on that. And you got a team that we're heavy buck sweep at times, and teams overflow, and that's actually the touchdown cut on buck sweep. You hit it in and you can cut it back. That's normally going to be a big play cut for us, and teams start overflowing to where 2 and 22's going, and naturally there's going to be running lanes back the other way, and not everybody can see them them lanes. You have a lot of running backs who struggle seeing that. They'll just put their head down and get 1 or 2 yards because they're trying to fit it into the hole that it was designed to go through, when it's not necessarily going to be there every time. Sometimes teams overrun it and the lineman takes them the right way, and it's your job to see it and cut it back. And we have 2 guys that do a really good job at doing that. So.
Yeah, let's talk about your offensive line real quick. I know I jumped ahead for a second, but you got Shankles back this past week, and nothing against who subbed in for him and all that, but it seemed like the offensive line had a little extra pep in their step this week.
Yeah, he's like I said, I think he was one of our best O-line. He was playing some of the best football up front that we've had since I've been here, and that's saying something. We've had some good linemen with Decker and stuff, but as far as just how he played with the mentality he plays with, like I said, he'll get after you after the whistle, through the whistle. That's something we need on the O-line. And he knows his assignment, and he's able to communicate with the 2 guards on what they need to do, which is big. He understands the offense. He's been in it a long time. Aspen stepped in at center. He just hadn't played a lot of O-line. He was one way last year, and he did a really good job while he was in there. But Kai he's just been in it longer, and you could tell he knows the offense more. That helps us a lot. That when guys know what they're doing, they're able to play fast. And when you're second guessing yourself, you're not able to play fast. And so Kai helps that as well, being able to communicate with guys beside him on what needs to be done. And then his play speaks for itself. I'm really proud of Kai and where he's, from when the day I got here to now. He worked hard, and he's always worked hard, and he's a strong kid, but he's getting better all the time in the weight room, on the field. He's a really good O-lineman for us, and he's gotten better at D-line. I know he wants to play linebacker, but the kid's a really good D-lineman. He came a long ways. In the middle of the year, we moved into D-line. We tried to play as many one way as possible early in the year, and he was one of them. We wanted to play one way, and Drennan was going to play D-line one way, and then Drennan got hurt, so we ended up having to play Kai at D-line, and we looked at it and was like, we should have been playing there the whole time. He does a really good job there as well. He gives you everything you got, ever played. I love the kid. I love all of them, but he's done a really good job, and I'm proud of it.
Shankles, Kyle there, as you were talking about, I think you mentioned earlier in one of the other podcasts, he's kind of like the quarterback of offensive line as far as calling out block protection and which way everybody should shift.
Yeah, he is. He helps with protection, help calling out Mike. He does it all. He's a guy you want at center. He's a really good guard. We put him at guard some this year. He's good at guard. He's good at center. He'd be good at tackle. He'd be good wherever you put him, just because he's going to give you everything he's got. He's going to try to be as technique sound as he can be, and he's a good one. Proud of him.
Now I want to go to your defense. Now, defense played lights out, I felt like, Friday night. And it seemed like for the last 2 weeks, you've been able to split 33 and 51 up and put them on opposite sides. And to me, it seems like it makes the offense harder to decide on where they're going to send that extra block or which side, because both of them plays in the backfield all night long on the defensive line. How much does that actually help your team out by actually being able to split them up instead of having them side by side?
It helps a lot, especially I think the biggest thing is splitting. 51's a defensive end, and sometimes we had to put him at tackle with injuries. A little earlier in the year, a few weeks ago, we had to play him a little bit more at tackle. We don't want to play him at tackle. We want him at defensive end. So we was able to put him at DN and leave Kittle on the other side, and we're starting to get healthy a little bit with 56 back, and we're able to put Will Gant, a guy he's a defensive end body, and he's a defensive end at heart, and that's probably where he's going to play the next 2 years of his high school career at DN. But we moved him to tackle, and he's done a really good job as well. And 56 will have to step up and play some big minutes at tackle this week, and it helps though having 51 and 33 on either side. They do a really good job. Kittle's gotten better as the years went on about squeezing and stuff. He's a very technique sound guy, and he plays hard. Him and 51 both. So we have to have them continue to play good if we're going to continue to win football games, because it's like I told the guys the other day, every team that's in the second round is a good football team. You're not going to find a bad football team this time of year. They're just not out there. It's the team who's going to execute the best. The team's going to do the little things the right way all the time, and the one that takes care of the football is going to continue to move on and play. So why not us? Let's execute the right way and take care of the football, and we're going to turn around, and before you know it, we'll be scheduling a trip to Auburn, and that's the go. So we just got to continue to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I want to brag about for a second is your secondary. They're playing a lot better now than they used to, or it seems like they have been. Friday night was no exception. At least one interception, maybe two interceptions, I think. But they're covering the guys what they're supposed to. And it seems like everything's kind of starting to come together on the back end of the secondary.
Secondary has been way better, and going back to Piedmont, I think we had 2 busts that night, 3 maybe. We ain't having as many busts. That's a big deal because our guys are in the right position where they're supposed to be. Coach Willingham's done a really good job at DBs, and Coach Clark's done a good job preparing them guys. So they're where they're supposed to be, and that's the biggest deal. I think 25 tried to undercut and jump and get something on the ball the other night, and it actually went over his head for a touchdown. It was only really it wasn't a terrible play. It was just only play they made on us. 24 did a really good job of being in phase and flipping his hips and turning and making an interception there in the back corner of the end zone after we turned it over, which was a huge play in the game in the third quarter. DBs played really well. Madison Academy likes to throw the football, so they're going to play really well again this week if we're going to continue to play football. So they know that. They practiced well this week. They've done a good job matching routes and coming up and tackling the screen in space, because we'll have to do that again this week. So I'm excited to see them play, man. I like watching them work, and I like watching the work pay off on Friday, and I don't think it'll be any different Friday night.
You got one guy I want to mention real quick, number 15, the Owens kid. Seemed like he came out of nowhere just to become a heat-seeking missile. He runs to the football on every play. What can you tell us a little bit about him?
Travis Owens, freshman, plays really hard all the time. He's learning the game. He's learning defense. He's smarter than he lets on. We still got to get better at our reads. But he does a really good job of making up for mistakes just by going full speed all the time, and that makes up for a lot. So he's a really talented player. He's got a bright future. And we got another kid that's going to play outside back. Our freshman class is pretty good, and I'm really excited about them and what they're going to bring to the table, because 15's playing, Lennon Watkins playing, and I could name off a bunch of guys. And Seth Ledford, he's going to be a really good football player, and he's going to play outside backer for us soon. He's done a really good job in the weight room. He's put on weight throughout the season. He ain't got a lot of reps, hardly any this year, but he's showing out in practice every day. He's going to be a big player for us next year. He's doing a really good job, and he plays the same way 15 plays, and that's full speed all the time, and wants to hit you, and that's what we want to see. And he's getting better, and you can think practice and giving everything you got in practice is going to help you next year as well. And really proud of 15 and all them freshmen. For freshmen, it's the toughest year, whether you're on the field or whether you're not on the field. It's the toughest year of your high school career. And they're doing a really good job of tackling it, and I'm excited about that group.
Yeah, the whole defense has been playing great for the last several weeks. Yeah, 35 points was given up against 5, but short field, but still they played good. And that's to me, I feel like your defense is gelling at the right time here at playoff time.
Yeah, our defense, that's where you win the big games, is on defense. We can score on offense, and I'm very confident in the scoring. But if you can hold a team down, you don't have a chance to win every game you play. And so really excited about our defense. And it's something that we thought was going to be something we're going to lean on a lot this year was defense, because we were replacing a lot of production on offense last year. And so we wasn't expecting that. I think we're averaging around at 31 points a game. Our goal was 30 this year. We're over that goal right now. We've had games where we sputtered, but I think we're getting better on that count, because we're going to be able to score points, hopefully, on anybody we play. We just got to get some stops, and now it's to the point where I trust our defense. We're trying to shut people out. We're trying to hold people down, and our defense is able to do that, I feel like. We just got to continue to play hard.
Coach, I want to follow up with that. I went through today and I looked at your last 3 games against 3A competition, and you're giving up about 9 points a game. If you and Coach Clark, if that bunch is holding them less than 2 touchdowns, which you've done like in the last 3 weeks and 5 times overall this year, it really does it change your play calling? You go, hey, defense is shutting it out. I just got to keep this conservative and grind it out. Or do you stay on the same playbook?
It changes a little bit. Like the other night, I'm very confident in our defense. We was getting the ball after half. We got the ball back with 1:30 left, and I was kind of in between whether I wanted to do a 2-minute drill or whether I just wanted to run the football and get out of half, and ended up running the football twice and I think we broke one pretty early and got to around the 50, and we actually had a shot play lined up out of a timeout, and we actually won on the route, and the quarterback called the protection the wrong way, slid away from the guy we were supposed to slide to, so he wasn't able to take the shot. We ended up running the ball out and going into half. But when you're confident in your defense, especially midway through the game and stuff, your third down calls, I think, change. For me, they do. If it's third and long, rather than trying to force the ball, we may just draw or screen it and punt it away and let our defense play field position, try to get the ball back in better field position, because field position is a huge deal in the game of football that people overlook. I think it's tough coming out of your own red zone and inside your own 20. That's a tough deal. And then naturally, when you get the ball on the 50, the 40, naturally you have more confidence as an offense because you're there, you're close, you're in scoring range. Let's make something happen. So it does change stuff.
Has it been a combination of the team is gelling and getting some people healthy, or was it just getting bodies back on the field at this point?
I think get some guys healthy, and then listen, we got some young guys playing everywhere, and they've grown up a lot. 15's played a lot of minutes. He's a freshman. He's playing junior last year. Jonah Gurley hadn't played in a few years. He's a junior, but it's pretty much early in the year it was like a freshman just because he ain't been on the football field in a long time. He's come a long ways over the year. He's more physical than he was at the start of the year, and he understands the defense. He's making a lot of checks. 13, he hadn't played a lot of defense. Period. He didn't play any last year on defense, so now he's playing all the time on defense. Then you look, then we're rotating guys up front, so that really hurt us. But we had some young guys that hadn't played a lot of football and some key positions, especially in the pass game, that just hadn't played a lot of defense that was just needed to grow up a little bit. And then so we just needed guys to grow up a little bit because, listen, when you lose Zach Anderson, that's a big loss for any team. Number 5's a really good football player for us, and he brings a mindset to us, and we lost him early in the year. And then we had to replace him and find an identity there on defense because, to be honest with you, our identity kind of was through Zach. Zach set the tone every day. And in practice, he set the tone on Friday nights. But we've had guys step up. 51 stepped up, 25 stepped up. We've had guys step up all over on the defense. And they've grown, and they've got used to playing with each other, and they're playing really good football at the right time.
Coach, I've got one question. Thank you, John. It's good to be back. I've got a question about the direction of the program. I read a quote where you had said after the football game that this was a direction or a program-defining moment as far as your program moving forward. It's rare that you've ever been at Sylvania and heard first playoff win in 5 years. What is the battle sometimes after these programs starting to decline that you've got to, in the last 2 years, you've had to change mentality and kind of grow to this point? And does this being able to advance build for your future, or kind of what do you mean by this? This gives your program a little more of an identity.
Well, it's something that I could answer this for a minute, but it's something that at Sylvania that we want, like playoff round 1 win, big deal. Like we want that to be expected every single year.
Right.
We want to be able to host and win a playoff game every year and make a run. And to do that, it starts in the weight room. We hadn't had full cycle. Listen, we have really good football players. We have really good football players last year. We have really good football players this year. We'll have really good football players next year. Like we have talent here at Sylvania, and that's a big deal. That's a huge part of it. And you have to have talent to win football games, but you also have to have mental toughness. You also have to buy in and give everything you got every day and understand what it takes to win football games and create a mindset. Everybody can have talent, but can you have the mindset to win that goes with it? Like what you do in the weight room matters every day. What you do every day matters. Like what's your mindset going to be? And I think our guys need to understand what it takes to win. I think they do understand what it takes to win, but now we're trying to build a mindset like we're supposed to win. And we're taking a step closer there every day. I feel like when you step on the football field, you're supposed to win the football game. Like, don't give yourself any other option but to win. And then, and that's where we're headed. That's where we're trying to get to. Like, we're trying to win a lot of football games. We're trying to win state championships. But at the same time, we're trying to grow young men to create mindsets of mental toughness that they're going to be able to use in their life because you're not going to be able to win a playoff game all the time. You're not going to be able to win championships every year. You're not going to be able to – bad things happen. And football teaches a lot of life lessons. So at the same time, we're trying to grow young men that have been through a lot just in football. Football practice, football games teaches life lessons and adversity and being able to fight through it and being in the weight room and doing things the right way. But as far as program building, I feel like we're on the right track to doing something special here at Sylvania, which is our goal, is to win football games and create a program that is expected to do so year in, year out, regardless of talent. Like just because you're, get in the weight room, let's get strong, let's play. It does take talent to win football games, but that ain't all it takes. You can't, there's a bunch of people who lose with talent all the time. You have to have talent, and then you have to put that together with some mental toughness and with a mindset that you're going to win every football game or you're going to win football games and don't give yourself any other choice. So I heard a quote the other day that was very interesting. I ain't going to say the guy's name, but he said mental toughness wasn't built maybe in the weight room, and it may not be built. He may know way more. He gets paid more than I get paid. And the quote was something like you're throwing up or something. Throwing up don't create mental toughness, and that's not nowhere near when I talk about creating mental toughness in the weight room. That's not what I'm talking about. It's making a kid throw up. I'm talking about when you have a set of 10 and it's your set of 8. You're on your last set. Like mental toughness is getting them last 3 reps, because if you're on your max and you're on this chart cycle, them last 3 reps is the toughest 3 reps you're going to do all day. So can you create mental toughness to push your body through them 3 reps or not? Or you just going to quit and lay down? That's in every set, every rep, no matter what we're doing in the weight room. It don't matter what it is in there, out there on the field during fourth quarter drill through the summer. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm trying to create a mindset that it doesn't matter. When things get tough, I can block them things out and I can just keep going. And then I think it relates to the field on Friday nights of, I've worked extremely hard. I'm not quitting. I'm not going to give up that easy. I've done too much to lay down. So anyways, not to chase a rabbit, I'm just telling you that I feel like this program is heading in the right direction, whether it was win, lose, or draw last Friday night. I feel like our program's headed in the right direction. Our kids are working hard. They're trying to get better. And I'm really proud of them. And them kids are the reason we're winning football games. It ain't these coaches. It ain't me. It's these players and what they put into it. And I'm really proud to say that I coach this group of young men, because I love every single one of them. They come to work every day. You got a bunch of kids out there that scout team every day, and they have to make the other guys better before one day they're out there on the other side of it. And now they're, a scout team's making them better. There's some dirty jobs out there through the week. That's tough jobs. And we have kids in that locker room that do them every day, and they get to celebrate that win on Friday night like the rest of them, because they're the reason we won that game. They give the looks, and I'm proud of every one of them, and they're the reason we're in the situation we are. And they're going to be the reason we're in the situation we are in the future is because of them kids. I'm proud of them.
And they're a team.
Mm-hmm.
That goes underappreciated sometimes, and I've seen more examples of playing. When you play for each other, you're successful, and when you play for yourself, you never are. How you got anything else about Fayette County before we move on to Madison Academy?
Yeah, I want to go back to a couple quick things, and then we'll move on to Madacat. I want to go back to a specific play that you ran there in the second half, Coach, where you ran a bootleg left and Jax put the ball in the end zone, scored a touchdown, but then the official threw a holding call, and you came back and ran the exact same play again and ended up being picked off. And before Jax even got off the field, I saw you doing this number right here, telling him to put more loft on the ball. The first pass was a pretty pass. Second pass was more like a line drive. Why made you come back to that same play again?
Well, that's a good question because I looked at Coach Lee and said I'm an idiot. But no, we was misaligned. It wasn't a holding. We actually Josh Scott was supposed to be lined up on the football. He was lined up off the football, so it was 5 men in the backfield. So it's a little small thing that costs us a touchdown, and them little bitty things like get lined up correctly. It can cost you a playoff game. Just like that's a perfect example right there. A little bitty thing like not getting lined up right costs us a touchdown. Very next play we turn the ball over because we couldn't do a little thing right the play before. That's how important. That's what I try to tell them all the time. That's why we leave the locker and the weight room. All the little things matter, and you got to take it to the field. But we didn't take it to the field. We didn't get lined up right. And, I said to myself, actually, in the headset, it was so wide open the first time. Yes. So I mean, he was wide open. I said, no way they think I call it again. There's no way. No way they think I called back-to-back waggle, wire cross. I did. And it was stupid. I should have ran the football, And,
well, actually, no, because he's open again.
Yeah, and he had more pressure in his face that time, but he still kind of threw it on. He just didn't see one. He just didn't see that kid, and that kid jumped up, made a good play, and
right.
But that's my fault. It's not Jax's fault. I told him, man, I took the blame for it a little bit after the game, not during the game. I probably got on him a little too much, but really, really proud of, the quarterback gets looked at. They get, they scrutinize more than any other position because they touch the ball every play. We turned the ball over 3 times. He rode for all 3 of them, and he, the one just sailed on him. He threw a bang, a little slant there early in the game, second half. It just sailed on him and floated over Josh's head. And then I think we just let one thing lead to another there. But I was proud of the way he bounced back this week. If you look back, I don't think we turned the ball over on offense since Pisgah. We was on a stretch where we didn't turn it over on offense, but we turned it over on special teams, obviously, a few times, but we hadn't turned it over on offense in a while. And it stunk that we did it against Fayette because I sit in here and I watch film on Fayette County on Sunday leading into the playoff week. And I said, listen, everybody they play gives them the football. I mean, they force a lot of turnovers. We've got to take care of the football. And some of them's unforced turnovers. And I'd be danged if we didn't bobble a football back there and let them get jump on it. And then I would say that there was 2 that was unforced, and they forced the one. Number 1 made a really good play on that one interception, but we gave them 2, but our defense held. So,
as far as offensively, I know you like hurry up offense type deal, and I don't want to bash the officials, but it seemed like it took them forever to decide on what the call was and where to put the ball down at to start after a penalty. How much does that hurt your play calling, wanting to hurry up the offense?
Yeah, they were. I don't know what was the deal with them the other night. They did a really good job. I thought they didn't control the game too much, but really, we've started slowing it down just a little bit lately, and he ain't been hurrying up as much. We went from early in the year, I was wanting to go faster, and now I'm want to slow it down just a little bit, just because wanting to control the game. I feel like our run game's good enough where we can start controlling football games. And we're not in a 4-minute offense by any means. We're not slowing it completely down, but we don't hurry up near as much as we should. And next year, though, we may be trying to snap it within the first 7 seconds. I can tell you that. But, we ain't been going near as fast as we have been. So we're trying to slow the game down a little bit and control the game and run the football and play action off of it. And I think that's when our offense is at its best. Last year we threw the ball a lot more, obviously, but 3 was what I thought felt like our offense was best at last year was more of a throw first, run second. And this year I feel like we're more of a run first, throw second. Next year I can't tell you. I don't know. Maybe it may flip back. I don't know, but it's I just feel like that's what we do best. So that's what we're sticking with right now.
Coach, do you ever slow it down because you have been so beat up and you've got so many people going both ways that it makes it a little harder to put your foot on the gas and just go, go, go?
Yeah, sometimes because 51, man, he plays both. He plays everywhere. He don't come off the field, period. And I get to where I pull him every play. So he's dying because he's a guard that's pulling, wrapping, kicking, and then he's going over there and playing defensive end, and then he's going to kick return or kick off or whatever it is. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times I just feel like I just get in a rhythm. Sometimes I slow it down. Sometimes I don't. Depends on if we feel like the defense is on their heels or not.
Just for the record, John Seals says you never slow it down. So that's John. Go ahead, Howie.
No, I guess the last question I asked, I should have phrased it a little different. How frustrating was it for you to have to wait on the officials instead of, not your hurry up stuff, but having to decide because you don't know if you're going to have a 1st and 10 or you're going to be a 1st and 15, and they're sitting there trying to decide where the ball goes. How frustrating is that for you as far as having to wait for them to decide on what they're going to do?
It's frustrating because you have a 1st and 10 play in mind, and sometimes though if it's nothing shocks you anymore, man. That's right. Just I get, but it is frustrating because you're sitting there as a play caller trying to have a plan and then it's all change or you're waiting to see what it is, and more so it's them meeting for 45 minute and a half to figure out something that should just take, hey, I got this, all right, let's go.
Right.
I don't get that.
Well, Fayette County was last week. You're ready for Madacad this week, I hope. So far, you said practice has gone well. What can we expect from Madison Academy on the offensive side?
Madison Academy side, they spread it out. So they don't get in near as many formations as we've seen with Pisgah or Westbrook or, Fayette County. Offensively, though, they spread it out. They throw it well, and they run a lot of zones. So we have to be prepared to cover them and try to get some pass rush and see what happens.
Well, in the past, their quarterbacks, which I'm not saying that the one they have right now, but watching Madacad back in the past, they've always had a good quarterback with a pretty good arm, but also pretty good wheels on him. Is that the same case again this year?
Yeah, he's dual threat guy. He can run it. So we don't have to be prepared for him to be able to escape and do a lot. About like number 9 last week for Fayette County.
Yeah, I compared number 9 to a Cadillac Williams, the way he's so elusive and the way he just ran the ball. You never knew which direction he's going to go. And yeah, I feel like your defense did great on him.
Yeah, we let him out one time, but other than that, we was able to keep him hemmed up for the most part.
So Madacad, they got a special one receiver. They got several receivers they throw to.
They have a few receivers that they like to go to, 10, 11. 11's probably a true 4.4, 4.5 kid or faster. He can fly. Somebody we definitely have to make sure we try to keep in front of us, and they do a really good job. The running backs do a good job of getting downhill, making cuts, and running hard. And our quarterback, same way. He can throw it and he can run it, so we're going to be prepared. But number 11, somebody you need to watch for.
Offensive line, pretty good size, average.
They are. They are. Some big old boys up front. And, So we're going to have to do a good job on the D line and bring it.
And defensively, they do the even front, or what type of defense do they run?
They're based at an odd front, more of a stack look. They do show a little even front where they adjust to some stuff, but they're based out of an odd stack look.
I said, did they do even or whatever? I have no idea what that means, but I've heard you say it so much this year, so I kind of threw it out there towards you. So
their Mike linebacker's a really good player. He's got some offers. They'll play him at 6 or 7 yards and just let him run. So he's a really good football player. Number 2 for them on defense. So he's somebody you need to look for on Friday night. A.J. Rice is his name.
Good deal. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Randy.
Coach, I noticed they had opened up the season 0-2 and then have won 9 straight games. So they come in on quite a roll. Well, there's an element that once you start putting that streak together, you got a different kind of swag. This is a hot football team coming into the game. That you feel like scripting early that you want to try to get some control and slow it down maybe to offset this football team, or just same offense we've run all year?
I feel like we have to do a good job, and it's like I told them all, we have to be the most physical football team on the field on Friday night. And if we're the most physical football team on the field, we're going to win the football game. So that's a bottom line. Let's show up. Let's be physical up front. Let's win the line of scrimmage. And if we can win the line of scrimmage and take care of the football, there's no reason we should be practicing this week. So there's no secret to where football's won. That's for sure. It's won up front in the trenches. So let's make sure we win right there this week. Give our running back some room to run. Let's take care of the football, and then let our defense continue to do what they've been doing and playing hard. We gave up 35-5, but score don't show really how our defense played. I don't think. Our defense had 3 short fields actually, and we forced them to throw it a couple times to score. We tackled the run pretty well. We had Logan Anderson in check for the most part. So we played really good defense the last few weeks, and I expect it to since Plainview actually. We played really good football on the defensive side. We just got to continue that this Friday night.
Howie, you take it back over. I just thought it was interesting to open the year 0-2, and now they're not. Yeah. That's kind of a different run.
Yeah, right.
As far as Madison Academy's special teams, I noticed that Fayette County, you had your kick return people standing about the 20-yard line because he couldn't kick it very far. How about Madison Academy? Is it going to be the same thing, or will they be kicking it deep every time?
Yeah, they'll be kicking it deep, 10-5 end zone.
So, yeah. Punter, they got a pretty good punter.
Pretty good punter, yeah. He boots it pretty well, so they do a good job in all the phases of the special teams. They do a really good job. They're well coached.
This week, playing on Friday night, Veterans Day on Friday, no school. How is that going to change your game plan for the game Friday night, or will it?
It don't. No, we do it. We bring them in here pretty early, feed them lunch, let them lay around. We do our meetings, go ahead and get them over with, lay around. Then we'll eat pregame meal a few hours later, 4 hours later, and then get on the bus and head on just like normal. So I try to bring them in early, make it as normal of a day as possible because they're not in school, and then we just start on the itinerary, get there about 5:20, walk the field, tape, and then everything's the same. So,
are you relatively healthy for Friday night?
Oh yeah, we 25's on the play with a cast. He broke his hand or thumb Friday night during the game early. He'll have a cast on. That's the only really new injury besides this guy's banged up. We've done a pretty good job taking care of them early this week, and then they're pretty much back to where we need to be now, and we'll have a good practice tomorrow and then move on.
Howie, if we've learned one thing, Coach Vann's going to stay to Coach Vann's system. That's 12 weeks now. I've asked the same question and got the same answer. So, Coach, I did have one question about travel. You said you're going to tape at home, and will you get how much work? I mean, with it not being a school day, Will you just get tape, get on a bus, get over there early, or is it going to be leave at the same time? Just follow your.
We tape there. Actually, we carry everything. We just do everything normal up to that point. Then we'll get on the bus. We get there. We try to time it up to get there around 5:15, 5:20. So it'll be no different this week. We'll try to time it up to get there about 5:15, 5:20. Walk the field. Then we'll start our tape groups, stretch groups, and stuff. And then we'll go right into pregame at 6:05. So.
And you want to, this is a rare advantage to just have them off their feet all day. Is that something that you want to take advantage of and not going to class? Just lay around, be lazy if you can be.
Yeah, try to make sure they're out of bed early and then get them up here, and then they can lay around here for a little bit. Make sure they're eating lunch, and then make sure they eat a supper, and then make sure we're fueled up and ready to go. It's a big deal.
Coach, if you ever need somebody that's an eating expert, I'll be glad to come in and talk to
you. Hear you.
I'm real good at that. So, Howie, Chaney, go ahead, buddy.
Nah, Coach Vann's answered all my questions that I had, and we wish you the best of luck. And I thought we'd be covered.
We haven't told everybody, we haven't told everybody how to get to Madison Academy yet, Howie. So let's make sure everybody kind of knows where direction we're going and stuff. Okay, it's Huntsville area, right? I ain't got it. I was hoping you had it. It's Huntsville area, right?
Yeah, it is. It's over close to Space and Rocky, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's Huntsville area. It's over close to Bridge Street.
About an hour and a half drive from Sylvania.
Hour and 8 minutes. Hour and 8 minutes.
All right. Hey, I don't live there. I'm out to help too. I don't know.
I'm just going to type it in my GPS and go, man. That's the only way I know how to get there.
What if you lose cell signal? It don't matter. Coach, we need to get some people down there. I'm sure they'll have a pretty good home field advantage, and they're going to be loud. And playing on the road in the playoffs, there's nothing like it. Kind of you versus the world, but it's nice to have those people in behind you so you see some familiar faces.
Yeah, we need everybody to show up, be loud. It's a big football game for us. We're trying to make it to the quarterfinals, so our kids prepared the right way, and they deserve everybody to be there and support them. So we're excited and hope to see everybody over there.
All right. Well, are you done for the night? Howie, you got them all?
As far as I know, I got everything. And Coach Vann, best of luck to you Friday night, and we'll see you there at the game.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
We'll be here next week getting ready for the third round, and that's just go ahead and plan on it. And we appreciate everybody. We want to shout out, of course, to KCJT Homes that helped us this year, and make sure we give them a little shout out here during the playoffs. Let's go Rams, and we'll see y'all same time next week here on the Coach Vann Show.